Microbial diversity is only beginning to be understood. The enormity of the diversity, the complexity of it. And that's because we now have tools that we didn't have when I was a graduate student some 40 years ago. We have the tools of molecular biology. We were just beginning to understand DNA and the gene coding, and we were beginning to get a sense of relationships using a very cumbersome technique of DNA hybridization, that is, to extract the DNA from one culture and separate the strands, and then have another culture that had been grown in a radioactive substrate, and the DNA, again, those strands separated, and then mix the four strands, and if you got some hybridization between the one strain and the other, the radio-labeled and the non-radio-labeled, then you could measure the relationship. Very tedious. But now we can do direct sequencing. We can actually do PCR, polymerase chain reaction, and determine significant relationships. So the ability then to extract DNA from samples of water or soil or food or even sputum or let's say a fecal specimen for diarrheal disease, and extract the DNA directly, and then do what's called a metagenomic profile by simply sequencing everything that's there and then determining from the sequence what's there. We've now got a sense of the tremendous amount of microbial population number, but also the very large number of different species that are present. So we really depend on this diversity in soil, water, the atmosphere, and even on our bodies. The calculation has been that we're more than maybe 70 or 80% bacterial cells or microbial cells, and the rest human cells, mainly because the human cells are bigger, that we, of course, are constructed as we are. So the bacteria that are on our skin provide a protection against invasion. The bacteria that are part of our gut, normal flora, provide protection against infection. And so it's this balance between normal and invasive flora that's really very important, and that makes up the protective sort of layer that covers the earth, microbial layer that provides protection for us.